Scaling's a buzzword. Everyone wants to grow bigger, the drive for more at all costs, yet very few health professionals actually get to scale. This is because most practice owners, they were set up to fail from day one without even knowing it. So here's what we're gonna do about it. In today's episode, I'm gonna show you the broken business model that just way too many practice owners, in fact, most are pursuing. And then I'm gonna show you the 3 things you should be doing instead so you can scale profitably and successfully, and most importantly, in alignment and having a lot of fun. One of the biggest problems I see for business owners right now is that scaling has become a kind of a buzzword. Everybody wants to scale, but nobody actually really knows what it means anymore. It's kind of this vague definition of growing bigger. More staff, more services, more locations, more. The one thing this brings is more complexity, and with that, more headaches, and of course, zero scale. There's a huge difference between a growth model and a scale model. So recently, get this, I met with a physiotherapy practice owner that wanted to join our program. He was at the 30K per month revenue level and he was doing $8,000 per month of profit. He was doing well, but he was working really hard. I mean, like damn hard for this money. Long hours, spinning multiple plates, he never gets to switch off, his wife is beside herself. And he told me his goal was to have 3 more practices in the next 12 months. So we could be doing 90K per month revenue and 24K profit per month. Now, logically, in a linear way, you might be thinking, hey, sure, that's good, that's doable. But immediately I could see this monster problem with his goal. The numbers look like they add up, but here's the thing. The complexity of running multiple practices and making them profitable goes up exponentially with every layer of complexity that you add. I'm not talking about a small change in complexity, I'm talking about a massive change. Now, this guy's barely profitable with 1 practice and he's thinking about setting up multiple. The mind boggles. And I can tell you this kind of thinking isn't isolated to this one guy. In fact, this happens to me every single day with conversations I find myself in. In fact, I remember a guy recently approaching me, he's a dentist doing $1 million a month in revenue, and he mentioned he had some profitability problems. Well, the next month, he went broke. Listen, scale is important. You need to pursue it. But the way that most people do it in healthcare is wrong. They're pursuing growth, not scale. Now, healthcare, people seem to forget this. It's a services industry, which leads me to my next point. People are not set up to scale in the first place. They're trying to grow this increasingly complicated and complex business that's oftentimes not even profitable already. Everybody opens their doors having this dream of one day hitting their goal level of revenue and profit and income, but hardly anybody has an actual plan in place to actually do that. And since there's no plan in place, every time they grow a bit, they add more things in to chase more growth. But they often don't see until it's too late that all these things, they add up, adding just more complexity, more stress, more instability, and actually decrease profitability. They think, I've just got to go start and buy more clinics. Once I have 2 or 3 or 4, then I'll have the big money. But the reality is they were doomed from day one because they were never set to scale in the first place. They're delaying happiness for this big payday that it never comes. And it's all because of one huge oversight that they were not aware of at the beginning. Now listen, I know that sounds pretty doom and gloom, but fortunately, the opposite can be true for you as well if you choose correctly. If you get set to scale from day one, you'll be able to decrease that complexity. You'll be able to scale with simplicity, get paid what you're worth literally the entire time, and enjoy what you do every day. You just need to have a plan set up from the get-go with a simple model that's easy to control and scale. Simple scales, and you can grow with speed and predictability that way. You need a model you can influence and have total control over, one that allows you to make profit very early on so that you're not delaying this gratification and you can enjoy it literally the whole time. The truth about scaling a healthcare practice is you need to approach it like a real business from the absolute beginning, from the get-go. The purpose of a business is what? It's to do what? You got it, make profit, end of story. And the problem is that most people don't understand that and they think profit will come at the detriment of the service they're delivering. But you have to get that out of your head right now, eliminate that permanently. Profit and customer focus 100% go hand in hand. Now, I've had the privilege of working with some people directly from startup phase right through all the way to where they are now, scaling, where they've been able to quickly grow and enjoyably and with a lot of control because of the plan. And while this may sound extremely logical, I've literally never met anyone in my 20+ year consulting career, I've never seen anyone do that by themselves without our guidance. Literally not once. It's looked over because it seems so simple. And we're often let's be honest, we're irrational, we're emotional, we're human. We tend to undervalue simplicity and chase complexity. Today, let's remove complexity. Let's simplify things. Let's get you set to scale. So if you want to scale your practice, so you have freedom of money, freedom of time, freedom of headspace, and sell at a massive multiple of EBITDA, here's the 3 things you need to do. Here's what you need to start doing right away. Number 1, set up a predictable sales system. And yes, I call it sales because that's what you're doing. When you bring someone in and you deliver treatment, that's a sale. Get comfortable with it. And if you cannot, feel free to unsubscribe because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Every lead that comes through your door costs you financially, or it costs you in time, or it costs you in sweat equity to earn that lead. It is your sales system that gives you a positive return on your money or on your energy. And the predictable part is so important because you want to know with certainty what you're going to make when you hear that phone ring or when you see that lead come through an email or on DM. And you want it systemized so that no matter who on your team sees that patient, they're going to be worth the same. Now, listen to this. When you go buy a Mercedes, it's worth the same regardless of the salesperson or the actual car yard you go to. And only when you've got a predictable sales system across your entire team can you confidently allocate money to marketing or anything related to pursuing scale. What most people don't do is have this system in place, and it makes things so unpredictable right from the beginning. They're set up for chaos. Even if you're solo, you need to have this in place so that you can predict your growth. You must have it in place before you make a hire because you need to have it simple and predictable once you add in more complexity, being the other person, the new staff member. Otherwise, your new hire is going to blow your leads. You won't go ahead, you'll go backwards. You've got to systemize your sales so you can replace the dependency upon you. Simple scales, fancy fails. Number 2, ABM, always be marketing. Once you've got your predictable sales system in place, so that you know every person on your team is making the same amount of money per lead for you, only then should you start paid advertising. The only point of paid advertising is to get a predictable return on your investment. So listen, if you don't have a solid sales process in place, you're going to start bleeding profits and you'll add more complexity, which is anti-scale. So once you do have a predictable sales system in place, then it's time to start mastering predictable paid advertising so that every time you spend $1, you make more than $1 back, right? Your role as a practice owner is to master acquisition, meaning predictable marketing, predictable sales. Only when you can do that can you then hire someone to work for you. Otherwise, you put the horse before the cart and it's game over before you even get the opportunity to scale. Listen, this might sound hard, but you can either get this right now and enjoy scaling your practice, or you can remain frustrated for the rest of your career. The choice is yours. The laws of scaling exist, the same as the laws of gravity exist. Obey them and you win, ignore them, you're cooked. Number 3, profit first. Do not delay profit. Your business needs to be profitable from day 1. When you have a profitable service, only then can you truly scale. You are not Uber, you are not Amazon. You don't need to spend years in the red before you launch onto the stock market. The truth is, nobody's coming to buy you like an Uber or an Amazon. There's no angel investors coming to invest in you and your practice. You need a model that is profitable from day 1 because you're in the services industry. You are not in the tech space. And in services, you scale after the model is profitable, not before. If you're not profitable and you're still trying to scale it, you are chasing growth, which leads to more stress, more complexity, less profit, and it's way more complicated. Basically, the textbook definition of anti-scale. You want your model to be profitable from day 1 and only get more profitable as you add more team members in. Of course, the profit percentage will go down, but overall profit will continue to go up. That's the truth about scaling a practice. For a lot of people listening right now, it's going to be really hard to hear this truth. A bitter pill to swallow, but deep down, you know it's true. And if you grapple with this forever, you're going to have a hard time. I've seen practice owners doing $1 million plus profit from just a single practice and a small team. And I've seen practice owners barely breaking even with 10 to 15 practices. Which would you rather be? Follow these 3 principles from day one, you will have the foundation to build $1 million profit plus practice. And if you still want to add another practice after that, perfect, you've got the blueprint, then you can scale, then you'll be unstoppable. Now listen, if you like to see how to install these scaling systems into your practice and the benefit it would have, then I'd love you to book a demo call with my team by clicking the link around here or DMing me with the word demo. On that session, we'll get super clear on where you are, where you want to go, and we'll show you a customized scale plan for your practice and your situation. And we'll do a demo of our entire system so you can see what could be possible when you apply this into your business. So please click that link or DM me with the word demo and I'll show you what is truly possible for you. I'll see you on the inside.